Good morning, you guys. Let's just verify that we're working everywhere else. 1 second, it's been a minute, and I did test this last night, but I'm a double checker. So give me one quick second. Let's see. If you can see me and you can hear me, just let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Ooh, let's see. It says the name of the microphone. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, if you guys can see me and hear me clearly, just let me know in the comments so that I can see them. And yeah, I was going to go live on Instagram. I decided not to. We're going to go straight to YouTube and Pretzel. My poor dog, he just be running around. Um Anyway, what I am perfect. So we're good there. And then one more destination check just to make sure we're good. Perfect. Awesome. So good morning, you guys. It has been literally not 7 months, 4 long months. So if you did not know, Brand Brew is a conversational kind of live that I usually do typically every other Friday was the cadence we were working with. And what I do with those is literally have conversations about everything branding, business, personal growth, whether that's a professional brand or a personal brand, it really doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it here. But first things first, I want to give a quick introduction for those who do not know who I am, because you might be new here. My name is Kay Gresham. I am a brand designer, developer, strategist, coach. Literally, if it deals with branding, I'm the go-to person for that. I have been doing web graphic design, website design for over 10 years now. And I have kind of settled into the space we're going to talk about in a little bit of how we got back into the design space primarily. But for today's purposes, in this moment right now, we're just going to talk about who I am. You know, if you don't know who I am, that's the introduction. I am currently located in Columbus, Ohio. I have been consistently full-time entrepreneurship for a while, with the exception of about 9 months when I went back to a corporate role. Um, we'll talk about that decision in another session. But yeah, so we're back in full-time entrepreneurship right now. And honestly, like, I want to talk about it because it's been 4 months and we're going to talk about how we got here, what's happening, all the fun stuff. So there's that. The whole purpose of this is to catch up. Y'all have not seen my face on a YouTube live, a Facebook live, an Instagram live, really, truly, with a branding purpose in months. Literally, August was the last one. Um, and so, a lot of people just jump back into stuff without an explanation as to where they went. If you follow me on Instagram, you kind of already know what has already happened in my personal life, but we're going to dive into that a little bit also. And then on the other half of that conversation, we are going to talk about what's next. There's some great things happening, a lot of things, which is also why I've been kind of MIA just a little bit, just because life can just kind of propel you forward in a way you may not be fully truly prepared for, but you got to get ready for. You just got to make it happen. So yeah, so let's dive into this quick little catch up. I don't intend to be here long, but how could I ever forget? We got to talk about the beverage. So today's beverage cup is my Starbucks cup. I got this for there we go. I got this for my birthday from my brother and his lovely fiance, and it's like a little cold brew kit. So this is the first time I'm using the cup, but I did drink that cold brew like the same day. So I have the cup. And yeah, it's just a McCafe or the McDonald's coffee, a caramel coffee in here, a little bit of regular French vanilla creamer, a dash of Splenda. There we go. So it's still warm, but it's not hot. So I can drink it out of a straw. But there's the beverage. Hope you're having a good cup. The whole purpose of this too is that you have a cup of brew, coffee, tea. If you want to drink wine at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., let that be your business. I will not judge you. But I have coffee. So yeah, let's dive into the catch up really quick, which is usually what people want to know. What's the tea? What's happening? So over the last 4 months, life literally just I can't even describe it. It just literally just went like this. There was no stopping, no breaks, no rest. It was like bus, club, another club, and it just kept going. no sleep. So, yeah, let's go back to August, talk about that. So in July, if you remember, I went on a vacation, went out of town for about a week and just had to decompress. I was at my wit's end. A lot was happening earlier in the year, and I said, I just have to have a break. I need some way to kind of just un unload the stress, and I needed to physically leave the house, the city, all the stuff. So there's that. And then I came back. My mom went out of town for a week. So if you did not know, my grandmother had dementia. And so at that stage, she needed like total care, like complete total care. So we had timed it just right where like I went out of town, then my mom went out of town. So we both could have like a break because we knew that was gonna be, which it was like the last like trip we could take before, she unfortunately passed away. So that being said, around August, we were getting back into the flow of school. Business was picking up in a very unique way. Honestly, August was one of my biggest months business wise. I did not plan for that, I did not prepare for that. And we're going to talk about that preparation phase in a moment. But honestly, it was one of those things where I truly just did not know what was happening, but I realized that this was like the start. August was the start of something like really quick and big about to happen. So, long story short, at that moment, it was my highest income month I've had in a long time. Now, I was hitting these numbers back in like pandemic time. We are post pandemic, and I was like, oh, okay, it's great to see these numbers. I'm not going to flip out. Maybe it's I did one too many full branding tweak things, and maybe it's just a one-time thing. I was wrong. And that to this date today was not my biggest month yet. So that was in August. Um Long story short, also around that time frame, I was diving headfirst into graphic design. That was what my audience was kind of wanting. That's what people were reaching out to me for. So I was totally on board with it. And I said, okay, if we're gonna do this and I'm gonna like sneakily, there's not even a word. If I'm gonna secretly kind of like go back into the design space, I'm gonna have to take this serious. I'm gonna have to make sure my systems are tight, make sure my processes are tight, make sure my turnaround times are tight, all this stuff. Actually got back into it because I had someone who I knew um in real life personally needed some assistance when it came to graphics for her organization. I still have her as a retainer client at this moment, but little things like that. And I said, oh, we can do it. You have an established brand. It shouldn't be too stressful. And it was fine. So all that being said, that wasn't like over the summer, June, July, August. Diella started school. I was tired. My sister moved back home. It was just so many things happening all at once. When I say no sleep, what was sleep? Okay. So on top of all those things, I still was a caretaker. I still had to make sure Deala got to and from school. I make sure she gets to the bus stop and get home from the bus stop. She's eating a meal, a hot meal, as soon as she walks in the door after school. Like it was literally just like boom, 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 boom. And it was no let up whatsoever. So there's that. And then yeah, so then that was August, September, October really were preparation months for one of the biggest events I've ever done graphics for here locally. And so trying to get all that stuff situated, I'm still seeing influx of requests coming to me. And I said, maybe this wasn't just like a random month in August. Maybe this is something much bigger. So I didn't take a lot of clients though during that time period, like after August, because I knew I had that award show coming up. So I said, okay, let me like stop, focus on this, and then also have some other clients retainer wise that I worked with and focused on, just because I knew that if I took on anything else, I was not mentally ready. I was not systematically ready to take on too much more because I really just needed to lock in and get some things in order, which I wasn't at that time because again, I'm a mom, caretaker, doing all the other things. So that being said, we kind of shifted after in October. Let's fast forward to October. September was fine. We're getting to the flow of school. October, my grandma had her birthday. A couple weeks later is when we kind of knew, like, okay, we're within the last couple of days. So when I say I no sleep meant nothing before that week, there was no sleep. And so I was dealing with that, knowing she was going to transition, trying to get everything ready for a service and things like that. I'm the family admin, if you could not tell. And then after all that was said and done, I still had an event that needed graphics. When I say the timing was so bad, and I said, oh my goodness, there is still deliverables, there are still things that are due. I have to somehow find the strength somewhere to not only simultaneously grieve and produce. I was struggling so bad. And I said, if I can just get through this, I'll be okay. When I tell you for about 3 weeks straight, I did not sleep, but maybe an hour a night. I worked, I did all the stuff, and I still had a brand, and people were coming to me saying, hey, when can we work with you? I literally told them, I don't even know if it'll be this year. We might have to push this off till next year. And so luckily I was able to really dive into those spaces and conversations, and we were good to go. I got the stuff done, got all that stuff submitted, had the service. I rested as much as I possibly could for 2 weeks straight, which took us all the way through November. So now we hit December. I had a photo shoot for my birthday. I also got sick in the process. I got sick, then got better, had a photo shoot, then had my birthday. We're back into the regular swing of things. Now, if you remember earlier in this conversation, I said that August was my biggest month financially at the time. That was the biggest income month. I'd never seen that much money in like 2 years in 1 month. When I tell you December came in, first of all, I don't know how I was still making money in November because I really didn't work in November, but I still had retainers and they were still paying with bonuses. In December, though, so it's only the 13th, Friday the 13th. Wow. It's only December 13th. And by the 6th of December, mind you, a month for me is the 1st till the 30th, 31st, whatever the last day is. It within 6 days, I had surpassed the amount of money I normally make in an entire month. I sat there one day at my desk and I'm like, something's wrong because I didn't know what to do with that, right? So long story short, yeah, we're still going. I still get increased every single day. I still get a project request every single day. I literally sat yesterday on the phone for about 30 minutes listening to voice notes from people saying, hey, I have someone who wants to work with you. Hey, do you want to collaborate on this project? Hey, can you send me over your pricing service guide so that I can send it to another client who may need your services? My mind is blown. And I'm going to tell you why my mind is blown later on. Um, but yeah, so that was the business side of things. Personally, though, everyone was like, "Okay, are you all right?" I'm good. I'm okay. I did have to take a shift in my mindset, not only from myself, but also at least a view of myself, but also just my business as well. I was thinking so small. Like I was cool with my few little retainers, and I mean, excuse me, my little retainers, like they're not doing a lot. And it got to a point where I had to be really intentional about, hey, yes, you're doing a lot of work. The money is not matching. Raise your prices. So then I had to come up with like a whole boldness to say, hey, here's my new price, here it is. So like I'm never the one who's going to be like, "Oh, you just signed with me 3 months ago. We need to renegotiate." No, you signed for a year. Guess what? You're locked in for a year. But any new clients, they were okay with that. And I was always scared that if I charged too much, people wouldn't want to work with me. That was not the case. I was boldly saying, "Hey, you need this done. It's going to be $1,200." And people were just like, "Oh, okay. Do you want that in 2 payments or one?" Give it to me in one. Why not? Normally I split them though if it's over like a certain number, but yeah, just play with me a little bit. So there's that. And then I will say that there were a lot of things mindset wise that had to shift for me that were happening around me. Certain relationships had to shift. I couldn't talk business with everybody. They don't have the capacity. I can't talk pricing with everybody because they're not my audience. They would never buy from me. Why am I discussing it with you? That's just where I was. I really leaned into my business relationships. And what I mean by that is these are the people who are full-time entrepreneurs. These are other people who may have a 9 to 5, but they are like a really big at least clearing like $1 million a year minimum. And I was connecting with those people and really leaning into those and being almost like mentored and really having good organic community around business and branding and all the stuff, right? I also realized that relationships are everything. You just have to build them wisely. I tell people all the time, I don't care how many people you know, let me see the value of the people that you know. I know people who y'all may not even know them from a paint chip on the wall, but they are so connected to other people who I need to work with. And so their network then becomes my network because I know them and I leverage those relationships properly. Now, I do organically build these relationships. I don't know what's going to come of these relationships. People always want to befriend me. And I'm like, okay, from a distance a little bit, but I've learned to embrace them because it's helped me literally broaden my network simply by me being connected to the right people. You may not be my target audience as I don't know, a real estate investor, but guess what? You're connected to a million other people who are. Send them my way, especially when I solve a problem that most people don't want to deal with. I'm known for dealing with the older people or the people who their ideas just everywhere because I'm gonna bring you in, put you in a little bit of a box so we can kind of work on what's in the box first and then we can kind of branch out. So that's number one. Two, I know I'm good for your established brands that are usually nonprofits. I'm learning that the nonprofit arena is where they just come find me and I'm here for it. So in those spaces though, I have been able to really just scale a lot faster than I ever intended to because my intention wasn't to really scale at the moment. I was just trying to make it through. I was trying to maintain and just push through that way. So all that being said, that's kind of where I was mentally. I'm still really good. I'm super super hyper aware of like where I am just from an overall health standpoint, and I mean like mentally where am I at health wise, emotionally where am I at health wise, physically where am I at health wise. I know that I'm touching dirty. My brain can't run the same way it used to when I was like 18. I have to really be intentional about how I utilize that process of thinking and understanding my strengths and my weaknesses. I don't need people to think for me, but I may need someone to remind me. I actually had a client. I've worked with her for literally 2 years now. Had a client who I do social media content creation for literally once a month. I might spend 4 to 6 hours a month, and I usually do it within like one day, creating content, captions, send it right back to her. She does it on her end. The fact that I'm not a deadline, but we had discussed via like a text, like, hey, can you have it to me by Tuesday? Sure, I'll have it to you by Tuesday. Tuesday came around, Tuesday morning, and I totally forgot. So luckily I had a free day that day. I spent the time, got it done, but I don't like to be rushed like that. So that was like a whole thing. I almost needed somebody to say, hey, you got something up here, put it on paper. So if you ever see my desk, which one day we'll do a desk tour, I have sticky notes, notebooks, reminder sheets. My favorite currently is this to-do bag, a to-do pad, which literally is what I use for the week. And then I put this into like my scheduling app. So there's that. Long story short, with all of that being said, I want to share with you guys why my mind was so blown by how big and quickly things blew up and scaled. And then that's going to kind of segue us into what is next. Okay. So, first things first, and I don't talk about stuff like this all the time because people be weird, but I'm going to talk about it now. Give the man his flowers. So, in January, I went to a conference with Cultivate University. Was it with the university? Yeah, Cultivate University. If you don't know, it's like an online school of ministry, gifts, all the stuff. It really just teaches you from a biblical standpoint, how to identify and operate in your gifts. Okay, so one of the guys that I know, the founder really is Prophet Tor Solomon, and at the conference was the very last service, and we were done. Like, we about to sit down, listen to this man preach, and we're gonna go home. He calls me up there in the middle of offering. I was not prepared. And he says, Kay, I have a word of release for you regarding your finances. And he says, you're going, by the end of this year, 2024, you're going to go from worry to worship in regards to your finances. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, okay. At the time, I was fine. I was good. I was cool. It got to a point though, literally probably 3 months later, really not even three, really 2 months later, where the worry set in. Okay. And so I held on to that word that he gave. And I have the recording of it. I held on to that word that he gave. And I'm gonna be very honest with you. It hit about September. That September about took me out of here. September, I said we can hang up this entrepreneurship hat today. I was cool with it. But long story short, um, I had a friend remind me of the word because they were there. And I said, I know, but like, to be very honest, I don't know if maybe we missed a step. Maybe it was the wrong timeline. I didn't know. I didn't know. And so then to think that November was the way it was, then December was the way it's been. And it is still, I just got an invoice paid yesterday. A random invoice. And it's like, you didn't miss God. My timeline, my desire of the timeline was just a little rushed. And so sometimes, which I think a lot of people don't realize, is that there is an internal work you got to go through before a lot of things can be released. First of all, at the time, I was not worrying. So I really wasn't concerned. I was listening and I locked in with what he said, but I was like, I don't really worry about my finances right now. I'm good. I worried 2 months later. Absolutely. And so then to be able to turn it around, and now we have a month like December, and I am on target to do the same, if not better numbers next month. Thank you. So sometimes we have these words and things that are um we get them and we get impatient. We get them and we don't fully listen to the whole thing. We think of the result, not the timeline or the process. That's exactly what I did. I tell people don't do that. And I did exactly what I tell people not to do. But long story short, that's kind of what happened. And I'm so forever grateful for um him, because I did not know I needed that word to hold on. That word has literally held me up all year long, because what was happening? If I showed y'all some of these receipts of my bank account statements all year long, and y'all gonna be like, how are you surviving? I don't know. But like this month might actually, I'm gonna go back and look. By the end of this month, this might be the highest yielding month I've had in 4 to 5 years. We're about to see. But regardless, the word of the Lord is sovereign and true. So let me back out of there because I will go down a rabbit hole. So what's next for Brand and Brew? Um, why did I put an and in there? What's next for Brand Brew? Brand Brew is coming back full force. We have our class. What? It's early and I ain't drinking no coffee. We have this live today. We'll do another live in about 2 weeks. So it'll be after Christmas, but I'm going to do one talking specifically about what to expect for next year. I'm actually tempted to do it next Friday just because I don't want to work between Christmas and the New Year. So I'm probably gonna do it next Friday. I will go and process and check my schedule and see if we can do it that way. If not, it'll be the Friday right after Christmas. And yeah, so we'll be back into the smooth things, still having guests, still having conversations. I will be sending out some correspondence is basically to ask people what they want to talk about. What about branding do you want to talk about in a public setting like this? What about branding and business do you want to uncover and unlock and figure out together in a live like this? Because I feel like I wanted to make sure there's value to the audience. So that means if there's question and answers, if there's branding tips, if there's trends, if there's strategies, if there's like things coming down the pipeline that I feel like we need to discuss more, of course, I'll do those. But I really want to be intentional about asking what you guys want to see and hear. Um, and then also, regular business wise, so K Gresham is literally the umbrella for three things. So we have BrandBrew, which is conversations like this, free, whatever, love it. I don't want to say whatever, but it's free because it's just like I feel a passion to give people gems and advice and motivation, really, and actual help, real help, because I feel like some people just say anything, but real genuine help. In a free setting like this that's digestible, can live for a long time. So there's that. We also have Brandful Academy, which will be returning in January. I want to say it again. When it relaunches, I need everyone to pay attention, lean into what I'm about to say. The self-paced courses are all $10 or less. The self-paced courses are all $10. There will be live classes that I'll be teaching that will be on a deeper level, and you will pay a pretty penny for those. Not too crazy, but I will keep it affordable. But I do want to make sure that I am able to relaunch this well. We have all the stuff situated. I'm kind of going through right now just to make sure that everything is set and tight and right, and just I'm that person because I need the experience to be easy, simple, clear. That's all I want. So there's that. And then we also have the Standard, which is a creative solutions company. Uh, Originally, the Standard was a creative administrative solutions company. I don't want to admin. I can, but I don't want to admin. I am more so just creatively on the back end, working on a lot of things to help people creatively figure out their problem and then offer a solution the creative way, not just what the cookie cutter method is, because not everybody needs the same process. For example, I met with a lady yesterday, free consultation, was supposed to be 30 minutes long about her brand's business. That was it. Marketing. Okay. That conversation was an hour and a half. Now, if you know me, you know my time is valuable because I still have to have time to design. So I will literally minimize how many meetings I can have. But in her regard, I knew that I needed to spend some time with her because she needed it, not me. And I realized that there was such a breakthrough that she had after I spent all that time. She basically had a free strategy session with me. And that's okay. So there's that. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, K Gresham, aka me, the personal brand, because you are a personal brand. Everyone is a brand, whether they believe it or not. I am working on launching a couple things, or announcing, I should say, they're not launching, where I can do speaking engagements, I can do consulting where I will travel to you and consult you. I get requests all the time to do them virtually, which is great. However, I also get some requests to where I can travel to them. So I want to be able to have a centralized location where people can request those services from me, where I will come to you, I'll speak, do whatever that is. And then also blogging again. So blogging, one thing about me is that my brand is a creative solutions. I'm very much from a business perspective, someone who will shake the table, let it crumble a little bit, get a little wobbly, and then I go back in and show you how to properly tighten the screws. I'm the one who will point it out and then give you some type of resolution solution to the problem. When it comes to the personal side of things, though, I am still that same way, but I think things out all the way through. I'm very intentional about my thought process. Especially when it comes to solutions, I'm going to look at all the possible ways that I know of and probably go research some new ones because I feel like that's necessary. But I also do that in my own head sometimes. And also, as someone who is healing really well, I want to heal well, but I want to show you guys how I'm healing well. I want to show you guys how I am leveraging relationships. I can type that out in a blog or record a video and post it like a YouTube vlog, which also is a thing. We have a vlogging camera, one of probably 18, that I use literally every single day. And I've been documenting so much over the last month just for this purpose right here is to vlog and share. But yeah, so be on the lookout. If you have not seen my new website, I did the new website back in October, early October. Once I got the new pictures, I plugged all that stuff in. I literally pushed the button, made the switch the other day, but I want to, let's see if I can share it. I don't know if I can. Hold on. If you do not know the website, it's kgresham.com. So literally my name at the bottom of the screen.com. You can go there, view it. It's amazing. Oh, there we go. Ha ha ha. I'm gonna type it in so everyone can see it. Uh-oh. So here is, where'd it go? There it is. So here is the website link. Yeah, you can go there, peruse. The blogs will be up next week. I have them already and I just have to put them in there. And then I should hopefully have a vlog also by the end of next week. I've edited it all, just got to figure out which one I want to launch with and go from there. And give you guys a realistic view of what entrepreneurship is on my side of the woods. Because it's a fun time over here. But yeah, so there's that. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to go to kgresham.com and leave. All the way at the bottom is a comment section. You can leave a question there. Or if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is kgresham underscore. If you want to follow me on Facebook, it's kgresham. If you want to follow me on YouTube, it's kgresham. So literally everywhere is kgresham or kgresham underscore. So please connect, please tap in. And yeah, that was the catch up. That's what's to come. Hope you guys are great. Hope you have a wonderful holiday, because if I don't see you before then.